Hi, it's Helen here. Thanks for signing up for my fermentation workshop. I just thought I'd hop on and just give some visuals around some of the equipment that we're going to use at the workshop. The first thing would be a good idea to have are some very large bowls. So just these kind of plastic bowls, baking bowls, or if you have this kind of old-fashioned ceramic one, that'd be great, just to give yourself enough room to work with your vegetables. The second thing you're going to need is some sort of glassware to put your ferment into. The ones that I use all the time are these flip-top ones from IKEA. They're really very reasonable there. Or you can also buy them in Woodies. You can buy the Kilner brand in Woodies, and you can also buy them on Amazon. But they're very handy for ferment. So this is a 1 litre size. So this is the size I use mainly. But you can also use this 1.5 litre size, so there's no problem with the vessel being bigger than you need, because that gives plenty of room then for the fermentation process to happen. Or you can also use smaller, so if you have some of these 500 ml size as well, that's totally fine. So you can use any combination of that glassware. If you don't have any of those flip-top ones, then you can also use these large jars that you can get from the likes of Lidl and IKEA. And they might have them in Tesco as well. They're the ones that you find the pickled cucumbers in, or you might find pickled beetroot. So they're great, and they come with a lid as well. Or even if get ones which are slightly smaller are fine, you can just use a few of those. It's just something that you can get your hand into to push down the vegetables if required. When we're fermenting vegetables, one of the most important things is that the vegetables are submerged in the brine solution that we're going to create. So we're either going to make a brine solution or it's generated from the vegetables that we're using. So in order to keep those vegetables submerged, because it's an anaerobic process, so we don't want any oxygen getting in, I tend to cover over the vegetables with a covering, so something that would just keep the level, like you don't have any bits of vegetables floating to the top. So the type of thing that I tend to use is a bit of muslin cloth. So I would cut that into strips like this. This is well used. It's actually coloured by turmeric from a previous ferment and then washed. So I can reuse that. So that's going to go on top of the fermentation, top of the vegetables, just to keep so that I don't have any little bits floating on the top. Equally, if you're making a sauerkraut, you could use the outer leaf of a cabbage. So a nice clean outer leaf. So just keep one of those to the side if you're making sauerkraut. As well as that, you've got that covering on the top, but also we're going to use a weight just again to keep those vegetables submerged. So the types of things that you might use as a weight are something like this. It's a little glass tea light holder. So again, I get those from IKEA. They come in packs of 3 and they're well worth investing in. It's like $1.50 for 3 if you're going to be doing a bit more fermentation. You could also use a little glass jar, so you know the Bon Maman ones are slightly smaller, so that might be a little bit better, or you can get them at Kilner brand as well. You can get them in Woodies, the little tiny little glass jars, so that will work as a weight again, just to keep those vegetables submerged. You could also use baking beans if you have them. So baking beans are like this, they're for blind baking your pastry, so we could wrap those in a bit of muslin cloth as well and an elastic band and sit that on top of your vegetables to keep them submerged. Or you could also use something like this, a plastic bag if you had none of the others. So you could use a plastic bag and we'll fill that with a brine solution and sit that on top. You can also use the core of a cabbage if you're making sauerkraut, so if you keep that again when you're slicing your cabbage. So that's just a quick run through. It's in the instructions above, but sometimes it's just much easier to have a look at them, and that's just to give you some of those visuals. I'm looking forward to the workshop, so any questions, just give me an email in advance, and otherwise I'll see you on the day. Thanks, bye.